You met Wilhelm?
Yeah, is there a problem?
Actually, there is.
Get out of here!
We've been following you around because someone has stolen your identity, and we found out that you are actually who you say you are, and this person is now in our custody. Here's your new passport and paperwork, and we're finished here.
All right. Well,
all right.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
All
sir.
right. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Hey, what's up? I'm Matt, and welcome to my video. It's not just a video that you watch, but it's a video that you do. So skip around on the DVD and learn what tricks you want to. Now, if you just got a bike today, you might want to stick towards the beginning and learn some of the easier tricks. Or if you've been riding for a couple of years, you can skip towards the end of the video and learn some of the harder tricks. But don't skip the basics. Now, we got all kinds of tricks in this video. We got endos, bar spins, boomerangs, decades, rolling tricks, squeaking tricks, scuffing tricks, and spinning tricks. We even got links and variations with almost every single trick in this video. Now, at the beginning of each trick, there's going to be a title screen. It's going to tell you the name of the trick. It's going to tell you the difficulty, the speed, the stamina, and the heart. Difficulty is obviously how hard the trick is. Speed, how fast you have to go. Stamina is if it takes a lot out of you. And heart can be anything from how frustrating the trick is to maybe if you get hurt on the trick. So take note of those, and maybe it'll help you choose which trick you want to learn on which day. Now, although this video is called Ground Rules, it's, there's no rules, it's freestyle. So have fun, and with a little practice, you'll be pro in no time.
Endo.
The endo is the most basic trick there is, and it's the perfect place to start out. But before you get started, you have to know how to set up. You don't want your pedals straight up and down like this. You want them level with the ground, one foot in the front and one in the back. Grab the front brake to get the back wheel off the ground. At the same time, you want to push forward with your arms and lean back with the rest of your body. Now when you push forward and lean back, that's what gets the back wheel up to its highest point, which is what makes the trick look cool. This is how it should look. Another little technique you can use to get the back end up off the ground even higher is to bend your legs. See right here, when you stall up there, you're going to bend your legs almost at a 90-degree angle. You're going to be way behind the seat, and your arms are going to be pushing forward to get you behind the seat even more. That's the last little bit of advice I got on this one. If you haven't learned it yet, go and get it. If you don't have a front brake or you just want to change things up, try a curb endo. It's pretty much the same thing, except you're going to use a curb or a step or whatever you can find to get the back wheel up. This one's called the foot jam because you jam your foot in the tire.
Loading trick. Bar spin.
Alright, now this is the bar spin. We're going to start out with the easiest version, which is just a half like that, and then work our way up to the hardest version later on. Alright, now in this one you're going to start out with both feet on the back pegs at the same time. Those feet can't be shaky, they gotta be solid. Now reach over with your left hand and grab that right grip. You want to grab the grip underhand so that when you flip the bar, it ends up normal. Pull the grip towards you so the bars flip clockwise. Since your left hand's on the grip, you want to flip it to the left. Now right here, that front wheel is going to be off the ground just the tiniest little bit. That'll keep you from flipping over the handlebars and save that pretty little face. Take a look one more time in slow motion. And now here's one in regular time. Now try doing two in a row. Here's a seat grab 360 bar spin. Now if you're going to grab the seat lefty like I do here, you're going to spin the bar clockwise. If you're going to grab the seat right-handed, you're going to spin the bar counterclockwise. Make sure you get that down. Now let's rewind this and check it out. Now right here, you're going to grab the front of the seat. Always grab the front of the seat on this trick. Then as you spin the bar, you want to make that right hand, you want that palm to face out so you have the most surface area, the best chance of grabbing that grip. Don't pick up the front end too much on this one or you're going to flip back. This one's kind of like the first one, except you're going to throw the bar instead of reaching over. Plus, one foot's on the pedal instead of the peg. This will help you do the next one, which is the 360 on both pedals. Now this is the main event, right here. The secret to the 360 bar spin is to pinch the seat with your knees. You're going to pinch it hard, like you're doing a figure 4 leg lock in wrestling or something like that. You're going to throw the bar with that right hand and keep those palms open to grab the bar. With a little practice, you'll be spinning these bars like a pro.
Pogos, taste the difference.
Back wheel pogos or back wheel hops aren't necessarily one of today's newest tricks, but it will help you learn how to balance on one wheel, which is something that you have to do on almost any other trick. Plus, it's just fun. Start out on the back pegs and do an endo, then pick up the front end. Now when you start hopping, check out how the bike is straight up and down. You want that back wheel directly under the center of your body. You have to get the back wheel off the ground, so pick the handlebars up towards your chest. That's pretty self-explanatory. Now something that you might not know is to squeeze the frame a little bit with your feet, which will make it a lot easier to get the back wheel off the ground. Now as you get better at the trick, you won't have to squeeze as hard, and eventually you won't have to squeeze at all. But it might make the difference at the beginning. Now make sure that you're holding on to the brake throughout the whole trick. If you let go of the brake, it gets dangerous. This will give you an idea how high you need to jump. Really not that high at all. The higher you go, the harder it is, so just keep it low. To ride out, let go of the brake and pedal away. When you got the regular pogo dialed, you can start doing some variations. Here I'm going to do an X up and a one-hander. Maybe you can even do a seat grab or a bar spin.
Bunny hop.
As long as you're riding a bike, you should know how to bunny hop. Here's the easy version. Bend your knees, bend your elbows, and squat your whole body down to preload for the jump. Now as you jump, you're going to straighten your legs out, your arms are going to straighten out, and everything is going to be going up here. You're going to try and lift your feet at the same time as you're lifting your arms. Check it out one more time. Now here's the hard version. You're going to lift the front wheel before the back wheel. So you're going to squat down to preload for the jump just like you normally would. Then you're going to lift the front wheel. Now check this out. Your legs are going to be completely straight right here, and you're going to be leaning forward over the handlebars at this point. Alright, so you want to tuck those knees up high towards your chest. Your back is going to be almost flat. It's going to be almost even with the ground, and your elbows are going to be even with your shoulder blades. If you do all that and get that tuck position, you should get pretty high. Let's check it out again. Now as on all these bunny hops, your pedals have to be level with the ground just like the endo. When the regular bunny hop's pretty easy for you, try a 180. You're going to turn your head and your shoulders and everything else should follow. Now if you want to go high, you should jump over something. Maybe try some fake body parts before you try jumping over some real people.
Tail whip.
The tail whip is one of those tricks that you just gotta learn. First thing that you do, turn the handlebars in the direction you want the frame to spin around. So we'll draw an arrow pointing that way because we want our frame to spin around that way. Now right before you kick it, you're going to turn the bars the opposite way. This builds up some good momentum. So now you're going to kick the frame out and make sure that your right foot's already on the tire. As the frame swings around, you want to make sure that you're looking over the handlebars. Your weight should also be over the bars a little bit as well. Another thing you can do is have your left leg out to the side. See how the leg's out? That's because the frame is out to the opposite side, so this will be a good counterweight. This is probably the part of the trick where you're going to mess up the most. Let the frame continue to swing around, put your left foot on the top tube, check out how the right foot's still on the tire. It has been the whole time, and you're just going to let the bike drop down and ride away.
Dialing backward slider.
The slider's a fun trick because it's kind of like a skid, but it's a little bit harder. Alright, as you come into this one, you're going to stand on the back pegs, and you're going to grab that front brake and do an endo. You're actually going to grab the front brake throughout the whole trick. Now as you're going back, you're going to turn the handlebars so the front brake is closest to the seat, grab the front of the seat with your right hand, and you're going to pick up a little bit on the handlebars. Now the more you pick up on the handlebars, the farther back you're going to slide because you're going to have less weight on that front tire. You want to maintain equal pressure with both legs so that you're not going side to side. So keep it straight and enjoy the ride. This will give you a good idea of how fast you should go. Remember, the less weight you got in that front tire, the farther you skid. If it's too easy for you, throw in a bar spin. Fork glide's a great trick to ride into almost any combo. Even most pros today use this to ride into a lot of their combos. The easiest way to learn the fork glide is by holding the seat with your left hand. Even though you don't hold the seat on the final part of the trick, it's still a good idea just to figure out the balance point and the overall feel for the trick. Just cruise around in a circle and kick the tire when you feel like you need some speed. When you got this part dialed, hop off and learn it the real way without holding the seat. Alright, at the very beginning of the trick, you want to spin around, so turn your head to the right. When you turn your head, your shoulders and the rest of your body should follow too. Now when you spin around, you want to try and hang on to that balance point, just like you did when you were holding the seat. The trick's easiest if you go in a circle. So to do that, you want to turn the handlebars a little bit to the right, and you also want to tilt that frame down and away from you. The ride out's kind of tricky. You're going to switch your feet and then your hands. So let's check it out again. Now when you switch your feet, it's kind of a cross between jumping and holding yourself up with your arms. Then when you switch the feet, you're going to tilt the bike away from you and switch hands on the closest grip. Here's how it should look. You're going to spin around and then go in a circle, kick the tire once in a while when you need some speed, and balance with that right leg. Alright, now check out this one. The ride out's going to be kind of different. You're going to go around the other side of the bike by grabbing the seat. Let's check it out in slow-mo. Grab the seat, switch your hand on the grip, and then move your feet. This is a trick that you have to learn, so get moving.
Cyclone.
The cyclone is one of those quick tricks. Start this one out with your right foot on the front peg and your left foot on the back peg. This is already changing things up a little bit from the tricks you just learned because you cross-footed right at the beginning. To get everything spinning around, turn your head in the direction that you want to spin. In this case, it's towards the right. If you do it the right way, your front wheel should start to spin around like that. Now when it becomes about 90 degrees with the frame, you want to take your left foot off the back peg. It's real important that you turn the wheel before you take your foot off the back peg. When that foot does come off, it's going to loop all the way around onto that opposite peg. Don't worry about the ride out yet, just make sure you can do this part first. When you think you're ready for the ride out, just cruise around in this position until you feel comfortable. Then you're basically just going to lift up the front end and turn the handlebar at the same time and pivot your body around. Now we'll break it down a little bit more than that. Let's rewind it. Alright, put all the weight on your back peg. This will give you a good foundation and some good leverage. Then you're going to pick the front wheel up off the ground and turn the handlebars at the same time. Now your right foot doesn't need to do much. It just stays up and out of the way. When the handlebars finish turning around, then you put your foot on the pedal. And that, my friend, is how you do a cyclone.
Loading trick. Riding backward.
I wouldn't consider this one of the most hardcore flatland tricks, but it might teach you some balance and bike control. Now just give it a couple of pushes with the right foot to get going. Keep your body centered over that front wheel. This should help you stay balanced and steer. Now you're not going to sit on the handlebars, you're just going to rest above it. If you keep your arms straight, they should be strong enough to hold you up. Now you can give it a couple of cranks, you can start going faster if you want, and then just go back over the bars and ride out. The easiest way to get into this one is from a fork glide. See, this is what I was talking about. That fork glide gets you into almost any trick. So just hop over, start pedaling, and then you could just jump back over the bars and ride out. Now this ride-in's a little bit harder. Grab the seat with your right hand, switch your feet on the pedal, and then switch your hand on the handlebar. When you're up there, you can take your hands off, but you gotta sit on the handlebars for this one. To ride out, you're gonna grab the seat, and then switch your hand, and then switch your feet last.
Bar hop, because you deserve the best.
If you're still kind of scared of riding flat, learn the bar hop. It's one of the scariest tricks, so if you learn it, everything else should seem easy. You don't need to go too fast on this one, so go kind of slow. Make sure your pedals are even with the ground. You want a stable jumping point, so keep those pedals level. Also, squat down before you jump. You want to make sure that you can get over those bars, so squat down and give it a good jump. Make sure that your feet get over and aim for those pegs. Let's check it out one more time. After crouching down at the beginning of the jump, you want to straighten your arms out to give your feet the most clearance possible. You want to lift those feet up as high towards your chest as you can. It happens real quick, so lift those feet up fast. You want to make it over those bars, so jump forward. If you just jump straight up and down, you're going to go nowhere fast. Alright, let's check it out from the front. Did you see how that one foot landed before the other one? That's a little secret you can do to gain some balance right away. Alright, here we go, looking one more time, jumping over, and boom, that foot's on the peg first. The other one's just hanging up there helping you balance. This is a cheater way of doing it. Maybe you need to do it to gain some quick balance, or maybe you don't want to cheat and you want to just land with both feet on at the same time. This is a pretty snazzy looking ride out. You want your body to stay pretty much in the same spot, so stay straight up and down, but you're going to tilt the whole bike down towards the ground. Not just turning the handlebars. Tilt the whole bike down, switch those hands, and you got it. Alright, this next one's going to build up that heart quite a bit. You're going to jump backwards over those bars. It's a little bit harder because you can't really see where you're going to land. Now the secret on this one is to jump up and keep those feet split. This is different than jumping forward over the bars. One foot's going to go before the other one. As long as you keep those feet split, you got it.
Track stand.
The track stand has a lot of different variations and you can learn something from each one. Here's the first one. You're just going to grab the front brake and try and balance like this. Hopefully it won't take you too long. Now we're going to work up gradually to the hardest variations. So take that foot off the back peg and put it on the front tire like this. Now the hard part on this one is grabbing the seat and the handlebar at the same time with that right hand. It's kind of tricky, so here's a closer look. You're going to be pinching the seat between your forefinger and your thumb, but at the same time the bar end's going to be in the palm of your hand. Now the closer the seat is to your handlebars, the easier it is. Now on this next variation right here, you're going to squeak the tire back throughout the whole trick. If you can learn this, it's definitely going to make squeakers, tomahawks, and all other kinds of tricks way easier. So you're going to squeak the tire back. Every time your foot comes off the tire, grab the front brake. So you're going to be using that front brake quite a bit on this one. This variation is the same as the last, except you're going to roll backward instead of squeaking the tire back. If you can learn this, it's going to make every single rolling trick that much easier. And here's our final one. You're going to do a little bit of everything on this one. Here you're squeaking it back, then you could switch feet and scuff it backwards lefty, and then you can get your first look at scuffing right here. Take your right foot, throw it over the handlebar, and start scuffing forward. Now this is probably the only scuffing trick where both wheels are on the ground, so it's probably the easiest one. So give it a try, and then move up to those scuffing tricks later on.
Swivel.
The swivel's kind of like that first part of the track stand, except you're going to be rolling. If you do it right, you can actually pick up speed throughout the trick. It all has to do with turning that front wheel and putting your weight on it at the right time. Now it's kind of hard to describe this, so I'm going to bring out my red pen again. Now throughout the whole trick, the front wheel doesn't stay in the same spot the whole time. It moves side to side a little bit. On average, it's going to be turned about this much. Now as I said, you're going to pick up speed by turning the wheel to the right and to the left. Alright, now when you turn those handlebars to the right, that front wheel is going to be perpendicular with the back end. I call this the start position. Now turn the handlebars to the left. That front wheel is going to be angled almost at a 45-degree angle like that. This is where you pick up the speed. Now to pick up the speed, you're going to press down with that left foot on the front peg. That should send you flying back. You don't have to try and pick up speed, but it is a pretty cool technique. Now right here, you're going to see how much the bike's angled down. You want it like that pretty much throughout the whole trick. When you want to ride out, grab both brakes and jump on those pedals. Here's a swivel without any slow-mo. Now when you're doing this trick, make sure that you're not grabbing the brakes at all. The only time you want to grab the brakes is on the ride in and the ride out. Here's a pretty cool variation. Set it down all the way to the ground and then take the hands off. Here's one of my favorites. Set it down and spin that bike underneath you. You might want to meet it halfway by turning your body.
Dialing lawnmower.
The lawnmower is a good trick because you have to stall in one spot, so it's going to help your overall balance. Alright, you're going to set up with an endo, so grab both brakes at the same time. Now as the front end is coming up, you're going to start turning the handlebars towards you. At the same time, you're going to kick the seat down with your foot. See right here? I'm kicking the seat down with that foot. What this does is it puts the bike at an angle, just like that. Now since the bike is angled down, you have to counterbalance, so your body weight has to go the opposite way. Now what you can do to make this trick look cool, to give it some style, is to spread your arms all the way out. See right there how my arms are completely straight? That's what you're going for. If you're sick of the regular lawnmower, you could try the can-can lawnmower, which is pretty much the same thing, except instead of putting your foot on the seat, you're going to kick your leg out to the side. This trick is so much fun and everybody loves it, so get out there and learn it. The Infinity Glide's kind of like the swivel, except both feet are on the back end and you're kicking the tire back instead of doing that pump thing that I showed you earlier. I think the guy who invented this trick, his goal was to see how long he could do it for. But you know what, this video is already long enough, so I'm just going to cut it right here. Alright, the rules of the game for the Infinity Glide. See right here how that back wheel and that front wheel aren't lined up? That front wheel is going to be at a 45-degree angle compared to the back one. Now that frame isn't straight up and down either. It's going to be tilted in the same direction as a swivel, but not nearly as much. As you're kicking that tire backward, try not to use that front brake too much and never use the back brake. This trick's easiest if you're leaning forward over that top tube. Keep those arms straight and you should be doing this trick all day long. Here's a little variation. Try one on the frame.
Half lash.
The half lash is one of those tricks that you gotta learn no matter how hard you think it is. There's two parts to it, and we're gonna start with the second part. You're just gonna set the bike in front of you, and try and coast in this position right here as long as you can. It's important that you feel comfortable in this position. Alright, when you got that part on lockdown, you're gonna learn how to ride out just like this. Let's rewind it and slow it down. Okay, so you're going to be cruising forward and your front wheel is going to be going forward the whole time. So your front wheel is going forward, but your back wheel is going to do something a little bit different. Your back wheel is going to be going this direction, and then it's going to change and go that direction at the end of the trick. So at this point right here, your back wheel is going to start to change directions. Also at this point, most of the weight is going to come off your front wheel and go on the back wheel. So at the end of the trick, most of the weight is on your left foot. Check it out, here's another angle. Now on the whip, make sure that you're leaning forward and over the bars quite a bit. When most people mess up, they don't lean forward enough, and that's why they mess up. Now the frame's going to do like a 180. When it gets in front of you, just set it down, put your left foot on the back peg, and do that ride out that you should be pretty good at by now.
Loading trick. Rock walk.
A rock walk is two 180s, one on the front wheel and one on the back. Start out with your pedals level with the ground, one foot in the front and one in the back. Whichever foot is in the back, you're going to turn the handlebars that direction. So I'm turning the handlebars to the left because my left foot is in the back. Now you're also going to use that left foot to kick the back end out the opposite direction. When you hit the front brake, that should send the back end flying around. Now when that back end hits the ground, crank down with your right foot on that pedal. What this does is it helps bring the front end around a lot faster. Also, make sure that you're not squeezing the back brake. You want that wheel to spin on the ground and get a good crank, so don't use a back brake. Now if you're having trouble getting that back end to swing around, make sure you turn the handlebars about 90 degrees at the beginning of the trick. The back wheel is still going to be on the ground, but the handlebars are going to be turned about 90 degrees. And then to get the front end to swing around, just press down on that pedal, and you got it. Here's a good slow-mo clip. Check out the upper body right about here. I'm pulling up with the arms and cranking down with the foot. Here's a little variation. Instead of picking up the front end, just turn the handlebars and slide the tire around.
Fire hydrant for a great morning start.
The fire hydrant's not only a good ride out, but you can also do a lot of good combos with it. Alright, do your standard fork glide. Now you're going to jerk those handlebars back to get that back wheel up off the ground. Now as the frame starts swinging around, when it gets right about here, you're going to grab your front brake. You're also going to lean forward at the same time. If you don't lean forward and grab the brake, it's probably not going to work out for you. Next, you just got to lift up your right leg like a dog taking a leak on a fire hydrant. Keep your body centered over that front peg, and you should be doing fire hydrants all day long. Here's a fire hydrant in slow motion. And now at regular speed. Here's a little variation. You can step on the back peg instead of the frame. Pretty much the same thing, but your foot's just going to go a little bit back farther and not as high. The fire hydrant to decade is probably the most played out combo of all time. If you learned the decade already, you're way ahead of the game. If you haven't learned the decade yet, don't worry about it. Just link it up to a fire hydrant when you do.
Whiplash.
The whiplash is kind of like the tail whip, except you're rolling forward. If you want this trick in your arsenal, you gotta know the secrets. The first is to lean way over the handlebars. Next, you gotta kick the frame out with your right foot. Now check out how far I'm leaning over the handlebars here. This is the most important thing on this trick. Now when the frame gets right before the halfway point, you want to start putting your other foot on the peg, and you're going to coast for a little bit with both feet on the pegs. Then when the frame gets a little bit past the halfway point on the other side, you're going to lift up that left foot and start putting it on the top tube. Oh yeah, one more thing. Don't use the brakes.
Flail.
The flail is a little bit of a fork glide and a little bit boomerang. To get around that head tube, you're going to need to build up some momentum. See, the right leg is swinging forward and then back. Check it out again. See that right leg? It's moving forward right now, and then it's going to move back, and your feet are going to go around the head tube. Take one more look at it. Now to spin around the handlebars pretty good, you want to lean over the bars quite a bit. This will help you spin on the axis. You want to aim for that front peg with your right foot. Your left foot's going to take a lot longer to get around because it's farther out. So your left foot is going to go all the way to the back peg, and it's going to be the last thing to get on. When your feet get on those pegs, coast for a little bit and then flip the bars. Check it out from this angle. The tricky part for the flail is the spin. See right here, you want to turn your head and your shoulders a little bit. If you turn your head and shoulders, the rest of your body's probably going to follow along. See right here, your right foot gets on that peg first, but your left foot has to travel a lot farther, so it has to orbit around that axis a lot more, so it's farther out. When you get good at this trick, you can do it real fast. So you feet on and then flip. As soon as your feet get on, you're going to flip the bar right there. Feet on, flip. Don't pass this one up. It's a killer trick.
Dialing boomerang.
The boomerang is one of those basic tricks, but it's still kind of hard. Alright, before you even start this trick, you need to build up some momentum. So swing your right leg forward. Now as it's coming back, you want to turn your head to the right so that you spin around. Your feet are going to move forward at the same time around the head tube. Now check out right here how much you have to lean over the handlebars to keep centered. Your feet are going to be out a little bit like Superman, which helps the trick flow. Alright, now you need to finish spinning around. So lift up on the handlebars a little bit and they should continue to turn around. At the same time, you want to start looking for that pedal with your right foot. The trick is a little bit easier if you pull the front brake right here. The secret to this trick is just flow, so don't force it.
Squeaker.
The squeaker's a pretty basic trick, but it's kind of hard at the same time because it's a new technique that you just gotta learn. Okay, the first thing that you do is move the pedals straight up and down. If they're not straight up and down, your foot's probably gonna get caught in there somewhere during the trick. So you're gonna grab the front brake and you're gonna lean your body forward and over the bars. At the same time, you're gonna push the handlebars forward. Now everything's going forward here. Your right foot also has to go on the tire, so that's gonna go forward as well. This all happens pretty quick at the beginning of the trick. Okay, now this is where it gets kind of tricky. You have to keep your back end the same height off the ground throughout the whole trick. You don't want the back end flopping up and down, you want it in the same spot. The only thing that should be moving is your foot on the tire. Alright, now check out where the seat's at. It's up against your caboose or your rear end or whatever you call that thing. Now what that's doing, it's keeping the bike from going side to side. I wouldn't really say that you're putting any weight on it or sitting on it, it's just kind of holding things in place. Okay, now this is where it gets kind of confusing. The trade-off between your foot coming off the tire and your hand going on the brake. Every time your foot comes off the tire, your hand pulls the brake. So foot comes off, brake goes on. Foot comes off, brake goes on. It's kind of like that Simpsons where Homer's in the hospital bed and he says, bed goes up, bed goes down. Bed goes up, bed goes down. It's just like that, but on a squeaker. Looks pretty good, everything is going according to plan, and I think that I'm even following my own advice. If you're thinking about comboing this one up, try it from a fire hydrant. Just let the frame swing around and catch the seat with your rear end.
Pinky squeak.
Pinky squeak is like a tail whip, but with a kick. Alright, the first thing you do, grab the front brake and kick the frame out with your right foot. Now if you do this right, the frame should start to swing around. As it's coming around, kick back with your right foot. Let's check that out again. So the frame's coming around, you're going to kick backwards with your right foot on the tire and let go of the front brake. Now as the frame is coming around, when it's a little bit more than halfway around, you're going to put your right foot back on the top of the tire and you're going to grab the front brake. Let's check that out one more time. So the frame's coming around, you're kicking back, and then the foot goes on the top of the tire, grab the front brake. Now your foot is still on the tire, and your left foot's going to go on the frame right here, and all that's left is really just to set it down and ride away. Here's a couple of different camera shots to get you going in the right direction.
Loading trick. Decade.
If you learn the decade, you're getting pretty good. Right pedal goes in front, left pedal goes in back. This will make things way easier on the ride out. Now take your right foot, put it on the top tube by the seat post area. This is where you get ready to jump. Grab both brakes, rock back, and jump. Now you're going to have to get used to jumping around the head tube. So give it a couple of practice goes, just jumping around the head tube. Don't worry about getting your foot on the frame yet, just practice jumping over. When you're ready, lean forward at the beginning and then lean back right away. You're going to turn the handlebars before your wheel even comes off the ground. Now you're not going to jump until the bike gets to this point. See how the right foot's still on the frame? Don't jump until the bike gets to this point. Now as you're coming over, you're going to start focusing on that top tube. Get your left foot on it and then put your right foot on the pedal. If you want to get your foot on the frame every time, check this out. It has to do with which way you angle the bike. See right here at the beginning, the bike's going to be angled down and to the right. That's just how you start out. When you're going through the jump, the bike's going to straighten out and the handlebars are going to make a T with it. That's halfway through. Now the next part's the most important. The bike's going to be angled down and to the left. That's the opposite way than how you started out. When your bike's angled down and to the left at the end, that's how you get on every time. Now when you're ready to move on, try a perverted decade. No wussy setup endo on this one, just straight off the back peg. Now even scarier than that is the rollade. You don't use any brakes on this one, it's all about commitment.
Smith Decade, part of a complete breakfast.
We're here in downtown Chicago with the Smith Decade. We're going to dissect this baby and slow it down to see exactly what makes it happen. Looks like we're going to start things off with a good old half flash. When you're ready, squat down and lean over the bike. Just like in basketball or whatever, you're going to squat down before you jump. Then you're going to lean the opposite way on the jump. To help you get a little bit higher, grab the back brakes. This will also keep things stable during the trick. Check out how the bike is straight up and down. If the bike isn't straight up and down, you're probably not going to get around the head tube very well. Now here's the most important part. You're going to start shifting your weight from your left foot on the back peg to start putting on your right foot up in the air on the front peg. See how my leg is bent right here? Now as you shift your weight to this leg, it's going to straighten out a little bit. See how it's completely straight right there? Now when it straightens out, that's what causes the handlebars to turn around, and that's what makes you get over the top of the bike. All you have left to do is just let the front end hit the ground, put your left foot on the back peg and ride away. Now here's a couple of Smith decades in real time.
Undertaker.
This trick's called the Undertaker because you go under the bike. Pretty self-explanatory. It's got a couple of awkward parts. One is the hand pivot and the other is getting your stomach around that tire. Let's rewind that. Okay, looks like we're going to start out with the setup endo, so grab both brakes at the same time. Then turn the bars and pick the bike up. Now grab the tire with your left hand, and you're going to push the bike down and away from you. At the same time you're doing that, you're going to lean the opposite way. What this does is it gives you the most clearance between the tire and your stomach. If you can't get around the tire, you're not going to be able to do the trick. Okay, as you're coming up on the other side, you're going to want to lean forward as the bike goes down, and you're going to want to start reaching for that left grip. When you get a hold of it, set the bike all the way down, finish the bar turn, and ride away. One of the hardest parts in this trick is the hand pivot. You're going to start out squeezing it with your fingers and then pivot to your thumb. Your thumb's going to be grabbing the brake when you go under. So you want to link this up, try it from a cross-footed stick beat. When you're doing the stick beat, just reach back, grab the brake with your right hand, get under the bike and ride out.
Side squeak.
This is a side squeak. It's a good trick to learn because you can do a lot of cool bar flips and links from it. Alright, do a fire hydrant and grab the seat. When you get the side squeak going, you're going to want to tilt the bike away from you in that direction. You don't have to tilt it a lot. Just do it a little bit and that'll make a big difference. Now you're going to want to center your body weight over the left peg. You're going to be standing on this peg the whole time, so if you can center your body weight over it somehow, you should be able to stay on for the whole trick. When you think you got that stuff under control, start focusing on how your top tube is even with the front tire. See right there, it's pretty much even, but it can go a little bit from side to side just to help you keep balance. Just like the squeaker, you're going to press your front brakes when your foot comes off the tire and let go when your foot comes back on the tire. Now don't grab the front of the seat, grab the back of the seat. This won't matter so much right now, but when you start linking it up later on, it's going to make a huge difference. The side squeak is one of those tricks where your foot doesn't have to be straight on the tire. In fact, it's kind of hard to get it under the frame, so you might want to turn it a little bit. This is how it should look if you ride in, do the side squeak, and ride out. The first link you can do is a side squeak to a backward steamroller. Just put the frame in front of you, give it a kick back, and glide. That was a pretty short steamroller. I think that guy's lazy. This one's kind of cool. You're doing a side squeak, then you put the seat behind you, do a squeaker, grab the seat again, you're back in that side squeak. Now the hardest part on this is going to be getting your hand from the seat to the handlebar and then back to the seat. Here's those bar flips I was talking about. For that one you have to learn a side donut, but this one is just a side squeak with no brake. Then you put your foot on the peg, grab the front brake, and go around the bar.
Dialing drama lock.
if you want to learn the tomahawk, you got to walk into it first. So lift your leg over, grab the seat, get in the position, and then start squeaking back. It might feel kind of like a squeaker or a side squeak. Don't try the ride-in until you got this part. Now the ride-in's kind of tricky on this one. You're going to lift your leg over the bar, put it on the peg, spin around, and then grab the seat with your left hand. Let's check it out one more time. Now the timing of the front brake is real important on this one. You're going to grab the front brake right about now, and you're not going to release it till you give that tire a kick for the first time. When you're squeaking the trick, you're going to use the front brake just like you normally would on a squeaker. Now you're going to have to press down quite a bit with that right hand. Also, all the balancing is done with your hips, so move them side to side when you need to. That left arm should be pretty straight, so don't pick it up towards your chest. To ride out, you need to get behind that bar, so grab the front brake and maneuver your leg around it. Here it is, full speed ahead. Alright, try out this next link. You're going to do a funky chicken into the tomahawk, and then do the tomahawk back into the funky chicken. You're going to have to put your hand backward on this one. Now every time you flip the bar, you want to grab the brake.
Frame tomahawk.
The frame tomahawk's kind of tricky because you're not standing on the pegs, you're standing on the frame. Alright, to get on the frame, you're going to start out in a regular tomahawk. Then when your foot comes up towards the frame, you're going to grab the brake with your right hand. That guarantees that everything is going to be solid and stable during the switch. When you get your foot on that frame, it's going to put a lot of pressure on that back end, so the back end is going to feel like it wants to hit the ground. So to keep it from doing that, you want to pull up quite a bit on the seat. When you pull up on the seat, you still want to keep your arms straight. It's more like you're rocking back. How you place your foot on the frame is one of the most important things on this trick. See right here, the inside of the foot is angled towards the stem. It's not straight along the top tube of the bike. It's also easier if you bend that left leg a little bit so you can crouch down over the frame. Here's a little variation. Instead of squeaking the trick, glide it for a little bit. You know you got this thing if you don't use the brakes during the glide.
Front yard.
The front yard was the first scuffing trick that I got really good at, but it took forever because I was trying to scuff it righty, and I'm naturally a left-footed scuffer, so make sure you experiment with both feet. Here's how it looks with the right foot, and then here's how it looks with the left foot on the tire. The general rule is whichever foot you play kickball with is the foot you scuff with. Here's how it looks right-footed. You're going to have your right foot up on the front tire, give it a scuff, and then bring your left foot to that front peg. Take your left hand off the grip and use it for balance. Now to help keep the bike stable, you're going to rest your left leg up against the back of the handlebars. Make sure that you're leaning forward throughout the whole trick, and that should pretty much be it. Oh yeah, I got one more tip for you. When you're doing this trick, make sure the frame is angled off to the side. It's going to be the same side as your scuffing foot. This should give you a good idea of what the scuff should be like. The kick forward is just as important as the drag back. See right there, I'm dragging my foot back on the tire and pressing down on it. That's kind of like using your brakes, but you're using your foot instead. It's kind of hard at first, but after a while it just seems natural. And here we are with our final product, the front yard. For all you left-footed kickers out there, here's a couple of front yards your style. If you want to show off, you can throw your hands up.
Loading trick. Funky chicken.
Since this is one of your first scuffing tricks, you're going to have to figure out which foot to scuff with. One should feel more natural. It's either going to be your right foot or it's going to be your left foot. Now, just like with handwriting, one of your hands writes better than the other one. It's the same way with scuffing. One of your feet is going to be better at scuffing than the other one. If you're scuffing it righty, here's how you get into the trick. Grab the seat with your right hand and swing the frame around in front of you. Make sure that you're grabbing the back of the seat with your hand. Now take your right foot and put it over the handlebar. You can just set it on the ground for right now. Alright, now it's go time. Take your right foot and put it on top of the tire. You're going to put all your weight on that foot as your left foot pushes off the ground and goes on the peg. The scuff is the hard part, but the more you practice, the better you're going to get. Here's how it looks in real time. Scuffing is a pretty hard technique to learn, so you're probably going to repeat this step over and over, but it's well worth it. Here's a closer look at the scuff. Just like all scuffing tricks, dragging your foot back in the tire is just as, if not more important than kicking the tire forward. It's kind of weird at first, but before you know it, your foot's going to be doing it and you won't even have to think about it. Here's how it should look at normal speed. When you're locked in on a scuffing trick, you should never use the brake. Standing on your heel is a bad habit. You want to stand on the ball of your foot. When you got the scuff part dialed, you can set it down and learn how to ride in and ride out. Here's the first way how I learned how to ride into a funky chicken. It's not the best looking way, but it's definitely the easiest. Alright, let's take a slower look at these. You're going to spin around, then you're going to put your foot over the bars, onto the frame, grab the seat, and when you start scuffing, you got to pick up the back end. Now to ride out, grab the front brake and throw your leg around the handlebar, let the frame drop down, and then the rest is yours. If you're a left-footed scuffer, here's how it should look. It's real important that you monkey around with both feet to see which one's your natural foot. I think you can link the funky chicken up to probably a million different tricks. Here we got a different ride in, and then we're going to finish off with the front yard. Start out holding the seat, grab the brake and spin around, and make sure your leg gets around that handlebar. For the front yard, grab the front brake and lift your right foot over the top too. You can also do a steamroller in and a steamroller out.
Wheelchair with new and improved taste.
Okay, you want to learn how to do the trick before you learn how to ride into it. So grab the seat with your right hand. This should feel a lot like the funky chicken. Now learn it holding the seat left-handed. This will give you some options on ride-ins and combos. This is kind of a weird trick to ride into. The easiest way is probably from a fork glide, kind of like the funky chicken. Alright, now when you're up in this thing, you gotta hold that back wheel out a little bit to the side. See right here, that back wheel is off to the side. Now what this does is it gives your foot plenty of clearance under that frame so you can scuff. You don't want your foot hitting that frame when you're trying to scuff. Okay, here's that ride-in I was talking about. You're gonna spin around, take your right foot, put it on the frame, lift your left foot over, put it right on that front peg, grab the seat with your left hand, jam your foot in the tire and start scuffing. Now the ride out's kind of tricky. You're going to lift up that leg and put it over the frame. Make sure that you grab the front brake when you lift up that leg. This is what the whole thing looks like. Alright, this link is kind of advanced. You're going to do a tomahawk into the trick, and then you're going to do a bar flip out. You're going to start out with that tomahawk, then lift your leg up through your arms over the bars and lean forward when you start scuffing. Then for the bar flip out, just grab that front brake and flip the bar.
Backyard.
The backyard is the easiest of all the back wheel scuffing tricks. Start out by just walking into it. To make the bike feel a little bit more comfortable, rest the seat against your leg. When you're getting the scuff going, you want your foot straight up and down. This will give you a good powerful scuff. Now the hard part is staying up there and balancing. You do some of that with your right arm, which is off the handlebar. To ride into this thing, set the back end down in front of you, step through the handlebars, hit the back brake, and start scuffing. Now there's a lot that goes into this, so let's check it out again. Okay, so right here you're going to take your right foot, put it through the handlebars onto the frame, then you're going to take your left foot, put it through, and then put it right on the back peg, hit the back brake, bring your right foot forward to the tire, and start scuffing. You should be pretty good at the scuff by now. A pretty common link is the backyard and lard yard. It's pretty easy because the tricks are almost the same. The backyard, the bike's a little bit more straight up and down, whereas the lard yard, the bike's to the side of you and you're going in a little bit more of a circle. Alright, do your standard half lash. Then you're going to pass the handlebar behind you, so grab the left grip with your right hand. Now take your right foot and put it on the tire right away, and then continue to pass the bars behind your back. It's really important that you get your foot on the tire before you finish the handlebar switch. When you first get into that backyard, it might go in a little bit of a circle, but don't worry about it. Alright, now switch your hands behind your back, and you're in the lard yard.
Lard yard.
Just like any other scuffing trick, you want to learn the trick before you learn the ride in and ride out. So just learn how to step into it. To do this, get set up in the position, give it a little push forward with your right foot, and then put your foot on the tire. Then you bring the front end up. It's important that you get your foot on the tire before you start picking up the front end. Now check out how the handlebars are turned. That's because my hand is turning them and picking the bars up towards my armpit. What this does, it puts the bike at an angle. Now you want to maintain this angle throughout the whole trick. So you're going to scuff it around, kick it for a while. Now right here, see how my arm is bent just like this? That's because I'm still picking the bars up towards my armpit. You want to maintain that throughout the whole trick. Now most of the bike weight is behind you, so you want to lean your body forward. When you lean forward, it helps you keep that circle going. Learn the trick with the bars turned the other way now. This will help on ride-ins and ride-outs. Now here's a shot that shows you how you should scuff. Try and keep your foot as straight as possible. Check out the other foot. See how I'm standing on the front of it and not the back? That's what you're going for. When you're ready for the ride-in, do a half lash, and then grab the back brake, turn the bars in a half circle, and get your foot on the tire right away. You might be kind of sketchy at first, so buzz the tire for a little bit, but then you should be all good. When you want to ride out, grab the back brake and get your left hand back on the other grip. Simple as that. This ride-in's a little bit harder, but it was the way that I first learned. You're basically going to do a half lash and switch your hands on the bar while it's still on the ground, then pick up the front end. Let's check it out in slow-mo. So you're doing the half lash and you switch your hands, then you pick it up, just like that. Now when you got this thing dialed, you can start doing some bar flips. One way is to just reach over with your other hand. Another way is to throw it and catch it with the same hand. This is one of the harder scuffing tricks to learn, but it's well worth it.
Dialing stick me.
When you're learning the stick bee, just learn how to step into it at first. Don't worry about the ride in or the ride out. Learn it holding the fork like that, and also holding the peg like this. That'll open up some doors on the ride in and the ride out. Check out the angle of the bike. This angle is what makes you go in a circle. Also, you want to lean forward with your body. Since the bike is behind you the whole time, you want to make sure that you're leaning forward the whole time. If you got the lard yard under control, this shouldn't be too much of a stretch for you. One more tip is to make sure that you're getting a good scuff. There isn't a right or a wrong way to scuff, but the best way is to have your foot straight up and down, going back and forth, just like that. Let's look at the ride out one more time before we slow it down. Okay, I think the easiest way to ride into a stick bee is to hit both brakes, turn the bars, and lean the bike back. Now you have to get on the other side of the bike with your body, so you have to lean forward. Now when this is all going down, you have to put your right foot on the tire. Your scuffing foot goes on the tire, and your left hand goes on the front peg. Now your right hand is going to come off the handlebar behind you and move up to that front peg. The scuffing part shouldn't be too bad, but the ride out might be kind of tricky. So take your left hand, put it on the front peg, and then take your right hand and move it on the handlebar behind you. Now the key part is to make sure that you're scuffing throughout the whole hand switch. Give it one last kick and put your foot on the front peg.
Elephant.
The elephant glide's kind of tricky because your body isn't centered over the top tube of the bike. Don't worry about the ride in yet. We'll get to that in a second. Now your left foot's on the left peg. So what that does is it makes all the weight go down. So you're probably going to keep falling to the left. So to keep from falling to the left, you want to pick up with that left hand and that left arm. You're going to feel a ton of pressure in there. That's okay. The frame has to be off to the side a little bit, so pull the seat away. Center your body over the front tire, and with a little bit of practice, you got it. Here's the whole thing. Now when you're scuffing it, you got to keep your foot straight on the tire. If your foot's straight on the tire, you're going to get a good scuff, so keep it straight. Here's the ride-in. You're going to take your left foot, put it on that peg first. Then you're going to grab the seat with your right hand, get your leg over the bar, buzz the tire, and spin around. You can use the front brake if you need it. To ride out, just scuff it for a while, and then set it down and get those feet over. This link's pretty cool. You can do a funky chicken and then step over the bar into an elephant glide. Right here, you're doing a funky chicken with your foot on the other side of the frame, then you step through into the elephant glide. Now when you step through the bar, you're going to grab the front brake and all the weight's going to be on that scuffing foot.
Front yard 2.
The front yard 2 is kind of tricky to walk into because you got to swing that frame around to get it going. It's a scuffing trick in a circle, so keep that foot moving at all times. And that's it. I'm just kidding. Here's some secrets to help you out. Alright, now you got to put some oomph into that frame to get it to swing around. Now once you're in the position, you want that frame and head tube tilted down and to the right. When it's down and to the right, that's what makes a bike go in a circle. Now you're also going to feel quite a bit of tension with that left arm. That's a good thing. In fact, you want to create even more tension. So lift up on that handlebar with that left arm, and that'll keep you going in a circle. Alright, on the scuffing part, you might have to kick it a little bit harder since there's more momentum involved. Just don't get out of control. The easiest ride-in is from an elephant glide. It's kind of hard because you really have to get that elephant glide going in a good circle and then swing the frame around. Alright, this link right here is really cool, but it's also really hard. You're going to do a fire hydrant and swing your body around that handlebar. It's pretty good to get into the front yard too because you're already going in a circle. Let's check it out again. Rewind. Alright, all the way to the beginning, and you're going to do a fire hydrant with the bars backwards. Now you're going to grab the front brake as it swings around, get your foot on the tire, then let go of the brake, and lean in to get that bike going in a circle. This trick might be kind of hard, but it's really cool, and you can do some original stuff with it.
Loading trick. Side yard.
Again, learn the trick by walking into it. The side yard might take a while to learn, because it is one of the hardest scuffing tricks. Side yard's one of those scuffing tricks where you go in a circle pretty much the whole time. Now to get the bike going in that circle, you want to tilt the bike down towards the center of the circle. And the best way to do that is by lifting up on the seat. You can keep your arms straight. See right here, the back wheel is pretty high off the ground pretty much the whole time. That's what you're going for. Alright, there's one more little secret. See right here how the handlebars are pretty much straight with the screen, but the frame and the back end are kind of tilted back a little bit. You're holding the seat back behind your body a little bit. What this does is it keeps that front wheel from turning in on you. You'll know what I'm talking about when you start trying this trick. You're going to start up from a wheelchair and swing the frame around. See right here, you're going to lift up that leg, swing the frame around, and grab the brake, then grab the seat. Let's take one more look, swinging the frame around, grabbing the front brake, then grabbing the seat. You want to gain your balance as quickly as possible. Now for the ride out, you can just set the frame down behind you. It's not the prettiest thing, but it works. Alright, here's a left-footed version with a bar flip thrown in. So you're scuffing it, then you're going to reach behind you, and then bam, flipping that bar. You're going to grab the front brake when you do the flip, and try and land with both feet at the same time. The side yard's kind of a hard trick, but your riding's really going to look good if you can do it.
Backward peg wheelie, now with marshmallows.
Alright, so this is the backwards peg wheelie. It's a good start to learn how to do a rolling trick, and it's pretty easy. Before you even glide the peg wheelie, you just want to feel comfortable in the position. So squeak the tire back, grab the back brake, and just make sure this part feels easy for you. When you're ready to glide, take your foot off so that only your left foot's on the back peg. Now what this is going to do, it's going to shift all the weight down. It's going to press the bike down, so you got to do something about it. You got to make up for that difference. So lift up with your left hand and push down with your right hand. And that just keeps the bike centered, keeps everything even, and it helps you out with the trick. Try and glide this thing as long as you can. It's the right leg's job to do all the balancing. Don't do too much with your arms. Those are going to be straight the whole time. It's all up to your leg. Right here, you're going to see exactly how much work that your leg does. It just goes back and forth by itself. You don't even really think about it. Here's what it looks like in real time. When you got this one dialed in, you can start linking it up to probably a million different tricks. Here's an easy one. You just set it down and do it to a front wheel trick. It's really two separate tricks, but if you do it real quick, you can't really tell. So you're just going to do the backwards peg wheelie, and you're going to set the front end down, put your foot on the frame, then move your left foot forward, spin around, and then do your thing.
Peg wheelie.
The peg wheelie will teach you a lot about balance. Just practice it on the way to your riding spot. You're going to do the same stuff as a backward peg wheelie. Lift up with that left hand. You don't have to do it a lot, just a little bit. And then you're going to push down with that right hand. Same thing. A little bit goes a long way. Keep your right arm straight, and your left one is going to be a little bit bent since it's pulling the bike up toward you. Don't even think about using that brake. You want to balance with your right leg. Here's a cool variation. Take your right hand off. You might want to rest that seat against your left leg. Here's a good intro into double-footed rolling tricks. Put your right foot on that peg and use your arm and hips to balance. To take both hands off, you're going to have to lock your left knee under the seat. Bar spins are probably the toughest variation because you have both feet and both hands on. There's nothing to balance with. Give this one a try.
Crossfoot peg wheelie.
The crossfoot peg wheelie is a little bit different from the regular peg wheelie because you're going to stand on your opposite foot, but you're still going to stand on that same peg. The hard part about this trick is that all your weight is on one side of the bike. So to fix that problem, you want to lean with your whole body. You want to lean over the top tube of the bike so that now your weight is centered over the top of the bike. Now check this out. You don't want your feet side to side or next to each other. You want one in back of the other one. You're going to use that left leg to balance. Try this one out. You're going to be doing a cross-footed peg wheelie and then lift your foot over in front of the other one and do it opposite.
Dialing steamroller.
The steamroller is a pretty basic rolling trick, but you can do a lot of cool stuff with it. As usual, learn the rolling part first, then do the ride in and ride out. Okay, set up like you're going to do a whiplash. Kick the frame around, and when it's about halfway, you're going to grab the seat. Make sure that you're grabbing the back of the seat and not the front. Don't worry if this part takes you some time to get used to. Now you're going to balance with your right leg, which is going to be a little bit behind you. Lean forward over the bars. This is going to help you lock into that balance point. Riders who can't do a steamroller usually don't lean forward enough. Okay, so far we've been doing a steamroller in a straight line. See, the frame is even with the front wheel and you're going in a straight line. That's cool, but if you want to go in a circle, you gotta do something a little bit different. See right here, you're gonna pick the seat up a little bit towards your shoulder, towards the sky. See that seat's going up, and you're gonna angle the front wheel and the handlebars down towards the ground, which should send you in a circle. Here's how it should look. Kicking the frame around, grabbing the seat, then starting to pick up on that seat and go in a circle, and that's good enough. You can ride out. This link's pretty basic. You're going to do a steamroller, then do that circle technique I taught you, and then kick the tire back into a backwards steamroller.
Crosshand.
Okay, you want to work yourself up to the cross-handed steamroller. So start out with your right hand on the right grip and the left hand on the seat. It's kind of like the regular steamroller, but your other hand's on the seat, so it's going to feel a little bit different. Don't be afraid to walk into it or tap your foot on the ground just to get a good feel for the trick. Now in this one, my right hand isn't on the right grip. It's on the left grip. This isn't the fake cheater version. This is the real cross-hand steamroller. The secret to maintaining the balance point on this trick is to go in a circle. See right here, the handlebars and wheel are tilted down towards the ground, towards the center of the circle. Also, you're going to want to pick up a little bit on that seat. Bring it up towards your shoulder, and that should force you to go in a circle. Stay centered over that left peg, and you should be rolling cross-handed like nobody's business. Alright, the ride in on this one's kind of tricky. You're going to do a regular steamroller real quick and then switch your hands. This is one time where you can grab the front of the seat and it's okay. See right there, you grab the front of the seat, then you're going to switch your hands. Both hands are going to be on the seat at the same time, and then nothing's on the bars. To finish the switch, take your right hand and put it on the left grip. Then do your thing to get the bike going in a circle, and you should have it locked in. Check it out one more time. Here's what the whole thing looks like. It's one of those tricks where it's easier to go in a circle than it is to go in a straight line. Here's a different hand switch that looks a little bit better, but it's also a little bit harder. Instead of switching your hands on the seat first, you're going to switch your hands on the bars first, then grab the seat. It happens pretty quick, but it's one of those small things that you can do to make your riding look a lot better. I think it's possible to link the cross-handed steamroller to pretty much any trick in the world. Here's one to a mixed circle. You want to get a good carve going, then you're going to grab the front brake, turn the wheel a little bit, and your body's going to do the rest of the turn. This link's pretty advanced. If you can do it, you know you're getting up there.
Backward steamroller.
Think of the backward steamroller as a fork glide with the back wheel off the ground. In fact, the back wheel's so low you can barely tell the difference. So do your basic fork glide, and then lift up the back end. Now with that left hand, you really want to yank up. Now with the right hand, that's on the seat. You're going to actually push down with the right hand. That's kind of the opposite of what you would think. You'd think you'd want to pull up on the seat, but you're actually going to push down. Most of the pulling up is done with your left hand. Now with your body, you're going to rock back a little bit to help get that back wheel off the ground. And the whole thing goes a little something like this. Give this one a try. You're going to do a bar flip in the middle of the backward steamroller. In order to do that though, you got to go cross-handed for a little bit. So there you're cross-handed, grab the front brake, and land with your foot on the tire before you put your foot on the peg.
Loading trick. Backward hang 5.
The backwards hang 5 will move you up to that next level of rolling tricks. It's pretty much the same thing as the squeaker, except you're going to roll backwards instead of squeaking the tire back. So do the squeaker till you feel comfortable. You can do more than 2 kicks. You want to lean forward over the bars, and you want to make sure that you're looking down, your weight centered over that front peg. Also, push down with your right hand on the handlebars and keep that seat wedged up against your rear end to keep everything under control. It's real important that once you start rolling back that you're not using the brake. Alright, here it is at full speed. You're going to do a little bit of balancing with your upper body, but most of it's going to be done with your right leg. Here's a little variation. Once you get up in there and balance, try taking your left hand off. Here's a one-hander to a bar spin.
Hang 5 is preferred 3-to-1 over the leading brand.
The Hang 5 has a different balance point than most rolling tricks, so spend some time on this one and you can do a lot of cool stuff with it. To get the back end off the ground, you're going to lean forward with your body and over the bars. Then with your hands, you're going to push forward on the handlebars. You're not going to use the front brake at all. Now your shoulders are going to stay in the same spot after you lean forward and your arms are going to move. Check it out one more time. The arms push forward. You know you found the balance point when that seat goes up against your butt. You want to maintain that position, that's the balance point. So keep pushing forward with those arms to keep the seat up in there. When you get in that position, you're going to balance with your right leg. I'm going to kill you if I catch you using that front brake. There's one more secret to help you get the back end off the ground. You're going to pivot your hands on the grip right at the beginning of the trick. Check it out. Right here, your palm is facing backward. That's how it is at the beginning. Now when you push forward, your hand's going to pivot on the grip and your palm is going to face down. Now it's going to stay like that for the rest of the trick as you're pushing forward to keep that balance point. Check it out one more time. The hands pivot and then they stay in that position. Check it out from the front. See, your upper body does do a little bit of the balancing, but most of it's done with your leg. After you got this dialed, try taking your left hand off. You're going to have to maintain equal pressure between your left foot and your right hand. Here's something that may take years to learn. You're going to switch back and forth between your left and right foot. One part of it's opposite, one part's regular. Go learn it.
Elbow glide.
This is the elbow glide. It's still a good trick, and it'll help you learn a hitchhiker too. Just walk into it, tap your foot down a couple of times, and get a good feel for it. Riding in is where it gets tricky. It has to do with the hands. See right here how the palm is facing back? It's not going to be like that for long. When you pop it up, the palm's going to be facing down and out. Catching the seat on this one's kind of weird too. You're probably going to have to bend your arm a little bit like that. That arm's almost bent at a 90-degree angle. Now when you start cruising it, you're going to straighten that arm out. See right there, it's straight. Also, make sure that your body is probably at a 90-degree angle with your left leg. You're going to be hunched over quite a bit. You also need to lean forward and balance with that right leg. To ride out, you're going to lean forward even more and then set the back end down. This will give you a good idea of how it should look. Here's a look from the front. See, the handlebars and front wheel are virtually straight, but the frame's going to be angled out to the side. This will help you lock in that balance point. From this side, you can really tell how much you balance with that right leg. This trick's kind of hard to link up because you're in a weird position, but try doing it to a steamroller. The hard part on this one is balancing when that frame is swinging around. The elbow glide's one of the weirdest positions to roll in, so if you can learn this thing, you know your riding's taking off.
Steamboat.
The steamboat's kind of like the steamroller, except your left leg is over the handlebar. The steamboat's kind of a weird trick to ride into. You gotta lift your leg over the bar and kick the frame around just to get into the trick. I think that riding into the trick is probably harder than finding the balance point on this trick, because it feels kind of like a steamroller. So let's check it out one more time. Now see your body? It should be leaning forward as you start to kick the frame around. Now when the frame does come about halfway around, you want to catch the seat with your right hand. If you catch it too early or you catch it too late, it's not going to work out for you. Let's look at it one more time just to make sure that we got it. So you're going to lean forward, kick the frame around, grab the seat halfway, and then you should be in the position. You're going to have to lift up with your left hand on the handlebar to find that balance point. And also, see how your leg is pretty close to that handlebar right there? You don't want it resting against the handlebar. You want it floating freely. Here's how the whole thing looks. Don't use your brakes at all on this trick. If you want to link it to a steamroller, you're going to have to switch your hands about halfway through. So right there, switch hands, and then get your leg around that grip.
Dialing wheelchair.
Sooner or later, you're going to have to learn a double-footed rolling trick, and the wheelchair is a perfect one to start out with. The balance point's a little bit different on this one since both feet are on the pegs. Start out with the wheelchair scuff. Don't even try the rolling part if you can't do the scuffing part. They may be in the same position, but they're two totally different tricks. Alright, now check out this area right here. See how the grip is really close to that leg? That's what you're going to do during the scuffing part, but things are going to change quite a bit when you start rolling it. See, now the handlebars are a little bit farther away from the legs. That's the sweet spot, the balance point. Let's check this out one more time. Now the setup for this trick is really important. You want to make sure that during the scuffing part that you have complete control and total balance. So you're scuffing that tire, then you're going to put that foot on the peg, and you're going to pick up on that seat quite a bit to get those handlebars back. You're also going to lean forward. Since the handlebars are going back, you're going to lean forward and keep those legs bent so you have some room to wiggle with, some room to balance. When you're feeling good about it, learn the trick holding the seat with the other hand. So you balance quite a bit with those legs. Also, keep your feet even on the pegs. You don't want one in front of the other. If you just learned the steamboat, you now have the perfect trick to ride into a wheelchair from. You're just going to cruise, get that leg over the handlebar, and pick up on that seat like I told you. Learning a double-footed rolling trick like the wheelchair can really open up your riding, so get out there and kill it.
Backyard glide.
For the backyard glide, you're just going to get into the backyard scuff like you normally do. You can even scuff it longer than that. Just keep scuffing it till you feel ready, give it one last kick, and let it glide. You're going to do most of the balancing with your upper body and your right arm. The secrets to this trick are pretty straightforward. It's a lot easier if you go in a circle, so tilt that frame down towards the center of that circle. To find the balance point on this one, you're going to have to lean forward quite a bit. It looks like you're kind of hunching over, that's alright. You want to keep your left arm straight, and what that does is it keeps the front wheel a perfect distance from off the ground. Keep those knees bent for some wiggle room and some balance, and that should be it. If the basic backyard glide is too easy for you, try this variation. You're going to glide with one hand off and one foot off. It might be easier if you rest the seat against your leg. And if that last one was too easy for you, try this. Pinch the seat with your knees and take both hands off.
Manual.
As easy as this trick looks, it's actually pretty hard. Anytime you have both hands and both feet on the bike, it's pretty hard to balance. To get that front wheel off the ground, you're going to have to rock your body backward. You're going to have to lean back a lot. Now don't lift up on those handlebars like you're picking the bike up towards your chest. You want to keep those arms straight, so don't bend those elbows. Now see the body right here? Check out how far it is behind the seat. You want to stay like that during the whole trick. That's where the balance point is. Use those knees to move back and forth for balance. You don't balance by picking up and down on the handlebars. Check out how low the front wheel is. It's only going to be a couple inches off the ground the whole time. You can use this trick to jump back and forth between a peg wheelie. If you can do this, you got some pretty good balance.
Loading trick. Dump truck.
The dump truck is one of the best ways to get the bike upside down into a stick beat. On this one, you're basically just going to grab the fork with your right hand, you're going to throw the bike behind you, and you're going to bring your scuffing foot forward and do the stick beat. It's kind of like a gliding trick, but everything's changing at the same time. Okay, let's rewind it and break it down a little bit more than that. Alright, the first thing you're going to do, when you pick up, grab the fork with your right hand. At the same time, you're still going to be holding on to the left grip with your left hand. And you're going to turn the bars a little bit so that your shirt clears the handlebars so it doesn't get stuck. Now while this is going on, you're going to be leaning forward with your body, and you're going to be tilting the bike back at the same time. So as the bike goes back, you're leaning forward at about the same rate. Now check out right here how the handlebars are twisted at an angle. You want to make sure they're turned so you don't get hung up. Now when your right leg comes through, you don't need to scuff right away. You just need to get it on the tire and maybe drag it a little bit like that. See how I'm dragging the whole time? Now is when I give it that first scuff. Check it out at real speed. Instead of grabbing the fork, try grabbing the peg. And we're going to end things off with a dump truck from a different view.
Can't get enough of that mega spin.
The mega spin should probably be your first back wheel spinning trick, but think of it more as a gliding trick with your foot kicking the tire backwards to maintain speed. Start off by going in a tight circle. The best way to do this is by turning your handlebars inward. This will set you up for the rest of the trick, and it'll give you some good speed right off the bat. Give the tire a kick back within the first half circle. This changes the momentum from forward to backward. Another thing you want to do is keep your arms straight. This keeps the front end low to the ground and keeps the spin under control. Check it out, the whole time while I'm doing this trick, my front wheel is barely off the ground. See right there? You want it like that because it'll keep the spin under control. Alright, there's a couple more secrets to this trick. Instead of your bike being straight up and down, tilt it to the left. This will get you going in a good tight spin. Also, lean back and to the left with your body. This will keep that spin going. Kick with the ball of your foot, and that should be it. If you want to go faster, just kick the tire harder. Just make sure that you're still in control.
Mix circle.
The mixed circle is pretty much the same thing as the mega spin, except you're on the front wheel. You're going to keep kicking that tire backwards to keep the spin going. So let's break this mixed circle down to see what makes it happen. Alright, now during the whole trick, you want to turn your head towards the direction of the spin. Your handlebar and front wheel are going to be tilted down towards the ground. Picture a big circle on the ground and tilt those handlebars towards that circle. If you do all this, you should be in good shape. Also check out how the front wheel and the frame aren't lined up in a straight line. It's like you started doing a fire hydrant, but you quit halfway through. That's what you're shooting for. Now watch this and keep all that in mind. You can do a fire hydrant whip into the mixed circle like that, which will build up some momentum, or you could throw one down in the middle of it, just like that. This stuff's kind of advanced, but hey, it's the end of the video, so maybe you got this stuff. Now this bar flip right here is really advanced. You're going to start out with your right hand backward during the mixed circle. Let's check it out in slow motion. Right hand's backwards, other foot goes on the peg, and you go around the handlebar. Check it out one more time at regular speed. This next bar flip's the opposite of the one you just did. Start out with your left hand upside down, and then flip the bar in. Hey, you don't have to learn all these bar flips. Just make sure that you got the mixed circle.
Spinning steamroller.
The spinning steamroller feels pretty much just like the mixed circle. The only difference is you're holding the seat. Now since you're holding the seat, you can do a lot of combos out of it, so make sure you learn this trick. The ride-in on this one happens pretty fast, so let's check it out again. So you're going to roll into the trick like a normal mixed circle. Now as soon as you spin around, you're going to take your left hand off the grip and put it on the seat. Carve in and turn your head and body to the right so you start to spin around. You're going to kick the tire like you normally would on a mega spin, and as always, never use a brake on any of these spinning tricks. Like all of these spinning tricks, you want your head turned to the right so that you spin in the right direction. Now unlike the mixed circle, your frame is going to be lined up even with the tire. On the mixed circle it wasn't even. This is going to be straight in line with the tire. Keep that left arm on the seat really straight so that the back end stays low to the ground. You don't want it too high off the ground, otherwise it's going to mess up your spin. Get this part on lockdown because you're going to need it for the next level. Okay, now this one is pretty much the same as the last one, except you're holding the opposite grip than you just were. It's kind of hard because you have a little bit of an awkward reach, but you're going to need it for the last level. Before we move on, let's make sure that you got this part dialed. So you're going to reach across and grab that left grip with your right hand. You're going to reach all the way across your body. See right there? That's what makes it kind of awkward. You're also going to have your palm facing out so that you're grabbing the grip underhand. Keep kicking that tire back for speed. Now check out right here how the back wheel is pretty much even with the screen, but the body and head are turned quite a bit to the right. On this trick you really need to turn your body and head, otherwise you're going to lose that spin. Here's what we were working up to. You're going to turbine back and then go forward. See? Back, forward, back, forward. This is probably one of the most fun tricks of all time. And if you take these steps and work up to it, you'll be doing it in no time.
Dialing spinning tomahawk.
This is a spinning tomahawk. If you got mixed circles dialed, this shouldn't be too much of a stretch for you. Now the first thing that you have to do is spin around and grab the seat with your left hand right away. Then you have to weasel your left leg around the handlebars somehow. When you do this, you should pretty much be locked into the position. Give it a couple of good kicks and you should be going. Make sure that the bike is tilted down at an angle, just like that. If you're struggling with the spin, this might be one of the things that you're messing up on. You also want to make sure that you're leaning in towards the center of the spin. This should help you get a good tight circle going. Also check out how the right leg is bent out like that. This is a good way to balance, and it also gives you a good powerful kick. Just like the mega spin and mixed circle, don't use the front brake when your foot comes off the tire. It's not a squeaking trick, it's more of a gliding trick in a tight circle. Just kick the tire when you need some speed. When you want to ride out, just get your leg around that bar, just like you did in the ride-in, but the opposite. Here's a different ride-in. Start out with your leg already over the bar, and then spin around. If you want to link out of the tomahawk, try it to a funky chicken. Just have your right palm facing out, grab the front brake, and flip the bar into the funky chicken. Hey, don't you got some riding to do? Turn off this TV and get out there. Come on, let's go.
Time machine.
So far, all the spinning tricks we've done have been going backwards, but the time machine is one that goes forward. It's definitely the hardest trick in this video, and I only put it in here to challenge the best of you. You're going to flip the bar and grab that front peg. You need to get a good carve going. So to get a good carve, you got to lean forward a lot. The more you lean forward, the better carve you get. Now your right leg is going to be straight, and it's going to be all the way back behind you. Your left elbow should be bent, and you got to tilt that bike down a lot toward the ground. Now that stuff was just for the carve. When you spin, you want to take your upper body and lean back. Before you were leaning forward, now you're leaning back. Also, that right leg was back before. Now it's forward. Another thing I like to do with my leg is lift it up high towards my chest. I think the higher you lift your leg, the better spin you get. Your left arm is also straight now. It was bent before, now it's straight. Now when you're spinning, you're going to balance with your upper body. Don't move your arms or your legs, just balance with your upper body. Let's check it out one more time. Oh, getting dizzy there. Alright, now the better carve you get, the better spin you're going to get. So carve that bike real low to the ground, and then remember everything I told you, and you should be spinning like a madman. Alright, enough of that slow motion garbage. Let's see one in regular speed. Here's a view from up top. You can see how much you lean forward right there and then lean back now. If you want to go really fast, try doing it from a mega spin. When you flip the handlebar, it feels like the bike's going twice as fast. This variation is pretty cool. It's going to be a time machine with your leg over the head tube. It's kind of like a death truck, but it doesn't feel like one. You just got to make sure that you lift that leg up high to get over that head tube. Now for the no-handed time machine, you have to wedge the handlebar up against your hip. If everything goes right, you should pull the front brake with your leg.
Alright, so that was it. 56 tricks and like a million variations. Now, if you didn't learn all the tricks, don't worry about it. I can't even do all the tricks. I had my twin brother Max fill in for me on some of them. Yeah, that's it. Anyways, if you're looking for some new stuff to work on, check out Volume 2, which is out now, or it'll be out soon. And until then, this is Matt Wilhelm saying ride hard, but don't fall hard. Peace.
Unfortunately, qualifier right here in Louisville. Rookie last year. Came on strong, now he's ripping it up and taking the first place qualifying spot. I'm going to say Lysol, but someplace in Illinois near Chicago running for DD. Trying to dance competition. Let's hear for Matt Wilhelm. He's loose. He likes it loud too, Louisville, so bring it over. Let's hear for Matt. Very cool, I would say,